am the principal over the alternative education sites. So I have 4 schools: RX Paris High School, Desert Winds High School, Desert Pathways High School, and Phoenix High School.
Perfecto. Ella es la excuse me, say that.
I was saying, good.
Ok. Bueno, nos está diciendo que ella es la directora de 4 escuelas alternativas, que es el R. Rex Paris, Desert Wind, and could you repeat the name of the schools, please, because it was too fast.
Oh, no problem. Desert Pathways and Phoenix High School.
Phoenix High School. Do you know, I have had the opportunity to visit the schools. I even met you personally. And I was very impressed because we have another idea of these schools and totally changed my mind. And I really grateful for all the help that you give the students that appears to have a little bit of challenges in education. Estas escuelas, yo tuve la oportunidad de estar ahí y de verdad que son impresionante cómo ayudan a los estudiantes que tienen algunos problemas para adaptarse en el sistema educativo. Michael, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I understand that because of the positive behavior in PBIS intervention system that the high school district is using, that the need for 2 campuses of Phoenix is no longer, and that you only have 1 site. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How long ago did that take place?
Well, that was several years before I became a principal, and now that second site is now one of our charter junior high schools, Palmdale Prep. So,
very good, very good.
Yeah.
Bueno, Michael estaba diciendo que tiene entendido que a través de que se ha usado un sistema de comportamiento positivo, intervención para que haya comportamiento positivo en los estudiantes, todo ha cambiado. Incluso Phoenix ha reducido el número de estudiantes que participaban ahí y ahora se ha convertido en una escuela alternativa. Es para estudiantes juniors de high school. Así es que esto es una excelente medida. Do you still apply any positive behavior intervention in the schools, in these schools, or is not necessary anymore?
No, so the whole district follows the PBIS system, and within the sites that I'm at, it's even more important because many of our students come to us either deficient in credits or with one of the school or a couple of the schools, it's maybe a behavior issue. So us really working with students to build those social emotional skills is really helpful as they either transition back to a comprehensive high school or into the community.
Perfecto, dice, debido a que se ha estado implementando esta intervención para cambiar el comportamiento de los estudiantes, lo que sucede es que muchos de los estudiantes que están en estas escuelas están deficientes en el número de créditos que necesitan para ser exitosos en la escuela, también tienen algunos problemas de comportamiento y nosotros le ayudamos con apoyo social y emocional para que puedan salir adelante y luego hacer la transición a una escuela regular. Así es que esta es una muy buena idea. Do you know that many of the problems that students confront and then they reflect at school are problems at home? Like, for example, maybe they have parents who are alcoholics or using drugs, or they have mental and emotional issues. Do you also check in this kind of help for them if they need it?
So what is great about our high school district is that they found in our community there is a need for a lot of, again, social emotional help. So one of the things that we've done in the district is to make sure that we have psychologists at all of our sites, but we also have brought in social workers to work with our students so that we are just one more support for them here, and then we're able to work with other community groups to not only connect our students to the community groups, but also our families.
Perfecto. Le preguntaba yo, pues, muchos de los problemas que presentan los jóvenes que tienen problemas de comportamiento son problemas económicos o problemas que viven en una casa donde los padres son alcohólicos o están usando drogas y un montón de problemas que hacen que ellos vayan a dejar esos problemas a la escuela. Dice, bueno, nosotros dice, lo muy bueno del distrito escolar es que han contratado psiquiatras, psicólogos, trabajadores sociales y también los vinculamos con grupos de apoyo para que las familias y los estudiantes puedan resolver sus problemas. Michael, it's your turn.
Laura, what I was about to ask was the high school district, actually, the way it's structured is that every student can find a place, can find a home at the district because no matter what their challenges might be, there's a program that's there to help and support them. Now, alternative programs that you have named or are designed for students who may be new to the district but behind in credits or been out of school and have fallen behind in credits, and there's an opportunity for them to catch up. Is that correct?
Yes. So what is great about specifically Arts Harrison Desert Winds is that over this last year, we really looked at what are our students' needs. And the majority of the students come to us because of credit deficiency. So we've revamped our system to where students are in classes for 9 weeks. And in that 9 weeks, they're covering a semester worth of curriculum. Mm-hmm. So we can speed up the credit retrieval.
Very good. So they could get back on track fairly quickly.
Correct. Yeah, they could, in one semester, earn 40 credits. So total in a school year, they could earn 80 credits, which is a little over, it's about a year and a half worth of credits. And that's right. Just taking the minimum 4 classes. We offer our students the opportunity to take up to 2 additional classes, which would mean that students could earn a total of 2 years worth of credits in 1 year of time.
Oh, very good. Bueno, le estaba preguntando, Michael, cómo ayudan estos estudiantes que se supone que van retrasados en lo que son sus materias. Y nos dice Laura Ferguson, que la directora, que en las escuelas Rex Paris y Desert Winds están implementando un programa que les permite cubrir las deficiencias que tienen sus créditos y les dan clases por 9 semanas que equivalen a un semestre, en los cuales pueden completar hasta 40 créditos, de tal manera que si los estudiantes se ponen en pila, pueden incluso completar lo que generalmente se completa en 2 años en solo 1 año. But how do you do it for the students to have the will to succeed? Because that is the point, no? How do you motivate them?
So what we've found with our students is that when they get to us, some of them have experienced so much failure that it has some time working in our small classroom sizes and with our teachers to get them to believe in themselves. And again, I think one of our strengths in these schools is that we have a small population. So these students can't hide. We know who they are. We build relationships with them. And once they have that purpose, I guess you could say, and also the belief in themselves, because we really push that, they may start with one class that they love going to that class, and so they do the work. And this may be a change for them. And once we get them saying, hey, you've done this, now you can do 2 classes. Now you can do 3 classes. So what we've built back in over the last year is also a reward system and awards. Many of our students come to school and haven't earned a award for education in a long time. And so we bring the families and the students together and we celebrate their accomplishments. So again, we're bringing the families to the campus and making them part of this system, because many parents come to us and say, I don't know what to do. And so we are constantly in contact with them. At RX Paris, many of our students are Spanish speaking, and we have a bilingual secretary that she's fantastic at reaching out to our families, talking to students and parents about what they need in the home, what we can do to help at school. I'll pause for a second. I apologize. I know that's a lot to translate.
Thank you. I was going to ask you that. Okay. Y le dije, ¿cómo haces para motivar a los estudiantes? Porque se supone que van a esas escuelas porque están fallando en sus clases, no pueden salir adelante. Dice, bueno, la ventaja de nuestras escuelas es que tenemos una población muy pequeña, hacemos clases pequeñas y trabajamos con los jóvenes para que ellos sepan qué clase de personas son y puedan creer en sí mismos. Dice, estos estudiantes generalmente no han recibido nunca ningún reconocimiento. Hemos establecido un sistema de reconocerlos y donde cuando están exitosos en sus clases traemos a sus familias y a sus padres y los reconocemos públicamente. Dice, pero empezamos por la materia que la más les guste para que ellos puedan desarrollar esa confianza en sí mismos de que sí es posible hacer este tipo de logros. Y dice, en lo que respecta a la demografía, en la escuela de RX Paris tenemos muchísimos estudiantes hispanos y tenemos secretaria bilingüe que les puede ayudar con el español. Así es que es una gran ventaja para todos los que quieran comunicarse, sepan que hay esperanza para, aunque crean que sus hijos no la van a hacer, sí la van a hacer con especial ayuda. We're going to take a break and we will be back.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, ¿tuviste un accidente? ¿Te lastimaste y no le has llamado al abogado Antelope? Llámale ahora mismo al 661-945-5300. Él ha sido elegido por 2 años consecutivos como el mejor abogado del Valle del Antílope. Su número 661-945-5300, 661-945-5300. Ángelo Campano, el abogado en quien la comunidad confía.
Cambié de aceite de mi automóvil y voy a derramarlo. Y después de eso, me iré para siempre.
No sabes que lo que derrames en nuestro valle queda en el valle y puede dañar nuestro medio ambiente. La ciudad de Palmdale nos recuerda que fácilmente se puede reciclar por gratis. Todo lo que tienes que hacer es llamar a 888-CLEAN-LA o 888-253-7652.
888-CLEAN-LA, lo haré, no por ti, por nuestro medio ambiente. Después me iré.
Patrocinado por fondos de Cal Recycle.
Hola, hola, amigos, muy buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Les traemos toda la información necesaria para que puedan mejorar su calidad de vida. Y el día de hoy tenemos a mi co-host, Michael Dutton, y tenemos a la directora de las escuelas alternativas, que son RX Paris. Michael, you speak better English than me. Tell the names of the schools, then everybody can understand perfectly.
Well, the names of the schools is Desert Winds, RX Paris, and Phoenix High School.
Perfect.
Those are the 3 alternative ed programs that Laura is the principal of.
Do you know, Laura,
Also, there's, excuse me, Doctor, there's a 4th one, and it's Desert Pathways.
Desert Pathways, okay. When you are young, like when you are a teenager, once that you fail once, you believe that you are never going to make it. And we have to change the perspective, no? This is not a failure, but it's a learning opportunity. I did some mistakes. It didn't work in that way. Then I have to change the way to get wherever I want, no?
Correct. And what we really do at each of the sites, no matter the reason the student comes to us, we make sure we take time to talk to the students and the families. And, you know, children are young, and I wouldn't expect them not to make mistakes. We're all learning. And so we really talk about that with parents, is that just because these students have come to a different type of school, it doesn't mean they can't be successful. And that we, especially in this valley and in our high school district, we've really made an effort to serve all of our students, not just those stereotypical students that do fine at the big high schools, but how are we serving our students that may need additional support? And that's where our alternative sites come in. I'm really pushing to make sure that our staff is ready and will work with these students, because they come with a lot of different things that we deal with, whether it's credits to be retrieved or social emotional issues. We have a lot of students that move in and out of our valley. So, they've probably seen multiple schools. How do we get them to feel part of our school? So one of the things that we're bringing to RX Paris is career technical classes. And those classes are going to teach students what we call industrial tech, carpentry, masonry, construction, electrical, and giving our students an opportunity to do hands-on activities and to walk away from school with snap-on tools certifications. So they can go right into the workforce if they choose, or to go to AVC and be part of their technical trade programs which also use snap-on tools.
Ok, estamos hablando dice, nosotros cuando llegan los padres a estas escuelas hablamos con ellos y les decimos, miren, no porque sus hijos no han sido exitosos hasta este momento quiere decir que no lo van a hacer. Así es que estaba yo diciéndoles que cuando uno es joven tienes un pequeño fracaso, algo que no te sale bien y ya crees que toda tu vida va a ser un fracaso, y debemos de cambiar el enfoque y sentirlo como si es una experiencia de aprendizaje. Te fuiste por ese camino, no funcionó, quiere decir que tienes que buscar otras alternativas, pero nunca parar por lo que quieres buscar. Dice, eso hacemos nosotros con nuestros estudiantes y estamos seguros de que ellos van a recibir un buen servicio. Tenemos el staff, los empleados ahí listos para trabajar con los estudiantes y se enfocan en cuestiones sociales, emocionales y cualquier otro tipo de problema. En la escuela RX Paris también estamos ofreciendo clases de carreras técnicas para que ellos puedan tener una alternativa si se tienen que incorporar rápidamente al trabajo. Y estamos ofreciendo carpintería, construcción, electricidad, de tal manera que ellos pueden escoger el trabajar en esto o ir a Antelope College y continuar con su educación. Así es que es una excelente alternativa para todos aquellos jóvenes que están, y nos decía también de los problemas de los estudiantes que se cambian mucho de casa, se cambian mucho de lugar y cómo les cuesta trabajo desarrollar una liga con los estudiantes y con la nueva escuela. Michael, it's your turn.
Yes. Now, students who are, have some bad experiences, maybe run a little left of the law or foul of the law, maybe even right of the law, and are returning to the district or coming to the district out of incarceration. Is this a safe haven? Is it the place do you have a place, I guess I should say, for students that are like that?
So our campus, Phoenix, has been a place where our students that may be coming back from camp do go. And what's great about that campus and the staff over there, it's very small. We try to stay below about 75 students at a time. We have 5 to 6 teachers, and the students are, it's amazing to see our students when they come there. We will have students that may have been in rival gangs, may have had issues at other campuses, but the staff is able to really work with the students and break down a lot of those barriers. Our site administrator, Ulysses Chapman, is phenomenal with our students. Again, he works with families and the students as they come in and register. They sit down and have a long talk about the road to where they're at right at that moment and how they're going to move forward. We have a psychologist there and a social worker that rotate days. So we do have a lot of support for the students that way. Students know their teachers very quickly. And within the classroom, they do a lot of hands-on work with some auto classes, woodworking, and they also bring in a gentleman from the community that does spoken word poetry. And you wouldn't think poetry would be something that gets the kids, because most kids are, poetry. We don't like poetry. But he gets them to write, and then they share that with their other classmates, either just by reading it, rapping it. They really work through a lot of what is going on in their head through his program.
Okay, let me translate all that.
Sorry.
Ok, estamos hablando dice, en la escuela de Phoenix, estaba Michael preguntando si hay estudiantes que han salido de algún campo por haber violado la ley y si han salido de algún campo donde estuvieron ahí retenidos y regresan a la escuela. Dice, sí, en la escuela de Phoenix tenemos personal que es capacitado en tener tratos con estos jóvenes. Dice, y la escuela tiene un número muy limitado de estudiantes, solamente 75 estudiantes y tenemos de 5 a 6 maestros. Dice, así es que tratamos de romper todas las barreras que los estudiantes han tenido. Cuando llegan los estudiantes, el director tiene una larga charla con ellos y con sus padres para que entiendan en dónde se encuentran en ese momento y hacia dónde van para que puedan romper todos estos obstáculos que aparecen en su vida. Así es que hay la ayuda de un psicólogo y de trabajadores sociales y entonces los estudiantes se encuentran con los maestros para identificar rápidamente qué clase de problemas emocionales o ayuda necesitan y se les ofrece, dice, algunas clases especiales, por ejemplo, la de automóviles, trabajar con automóviles y también, dice, aunque ustedes no lo crean, hay una persona que va a hablar de poesía, dice, y aunque parece que no es importante para los jóvenes, les sienta muy bien esto de la poesía. Así es que es una excelente oportunidad. Now, Michael, do you want to ask something?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, many years ago, with a friend of mine who was the principal of Challenger Camp School, and I got together and we designed the first community day school, which is what Phoenix is. And it evolved into Phoenix. And then I got a chance to be principal of Phoenix and gave it its name. So I've watched Phoenix grow and become the school that it is and the support mechanism that it is for challenged students in the district. But I wanted to ask a question about RX Paris and the job that gets done there. It is a tremendous program, and they serve the students who are behind in credit, but they really focus on the social emotional development and getting kids back on track. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons it's named RX Paris is because he was a student of that program long before he became famous as the mayor, city attorney, attorney in the city of Lancaster and the mayor of Lancaster.
This is why I always like to put him as an example, that if he was able to make it, everybody else can make it. Huh? Just you have to have the desire to accomplish your goals and you are going to make it. Michael nos estaba hablando de los antecedentes de la escuela Phoenix, como antes se llamaba Challenger, y él tuvo la oportunidad de participar para que se hiciera una escuela de la comunidad y que evolucionara para dar ayuda a todo este tipo de jóvenes que tienen problemas. Dice, y en lo que respecta a la escuela de RX Paris, dice, bueno, pues me da mucho gusto lo que están haciendo porque están ayudando a todos los que están retrasados en sus créditos y también tienen problemas emocionales o sociales que los ayudan, dice. Y esta escuela se le puso a RX Paris porque precisamente el que es ahora alcalde de la ciudad y abogado de la ciudad, bueno, no, abogado en la ciudad, es uno de los estudiantes que estaba ahí salió. Y les digo que yo siempre me gusta ponerlo como ejemplo porque si el alcalde fue capaz de salir de este tipo de escuela, de la pobreza para hacerse muy rico, abogado y ahora también alcalde de la ciudad, quiere decir que todos tenemos la posibilidad si le ponemos las ganas. Does luck has to be in these cases, or it's just effort? Who wants to answer that?
What was the question? I'm
The
sorry.
luck has to be when you are able to accomplish so many things like Mr. Mayor Paris, or it's only your efforts?
Oh, no, well, luck in and of itself, this is my description of luck, is when opportunity and preparation intersect. So given the opportunity and the hard work is what happens with people to achieve success. Not one who's really big on things just happening because they happen.
Okay.
And Laura, you can weigh in on that too.
I definitely agree. I always tell the students, you create your own luck. The harder you work, the luckier you get. And that's the thing, is that I don't want them to feel hopeless because they're waiting for something to happen to them. We always want to tell them it's you that makes it happen. So if you want to be successful, you want to go to college, you want to go out and get a certificate for a technical trade, it's you that has to do the work. So
Very good.
we really do that with our students.
Okay. Le preguntaba yo, ¿tiene que ver la suerte en esto? Y Michael dice, yo siempre he dicho que tiene que ver la preparación para que cuando la oportunidad llegue, tú estás listo y la tomes. Y lo mismo dice la directora, dice, simple y sencillamente tiene uno que estar preparado a hacer todo su esfuerzo para hacer lo mejor que puedas y entonces te llega la oportunidad. Así es que we are going to take a break and we will be back. Hagan un esfuerzo todos.
Okay.
Las vemos todos los días, pero la mayoría solo caminamos al lado de ellas. Tiradas como basura, mereciendo ser cortadas, pues todas valen algo.
Sí, como 5 a 10 centavos por envase de bebidas CRB.
Al recogernos, las calles estarán más limpias e incluso seremos dinero para ti. Pero necesitamos tu ayuda. Mira adentro de tu corazón.
Oye, no se trata de corazón, sino de razón.
Llama al 800 Recycle o visita la página web para obtener información sobre cómo, al reciclar botellas y latas, las cosas mejoran para ti, para nosotros y para Campbell.
Were you injured in an automobile, motorcycle, bicycle, private property place, or at a work accident? Perhaps a dog bit you. Contact attorney Antelope. He is prepared and ready to defend you. All consultations, meetings, and appointments are free, and you pay absolutely nothing if your case is not won. Call at 661-945-5300. 661-945-5300. Angelo Campana, the attorney whom the community trusts.
Cambié de aceite del automóvil y voy a derramarlo. Y después de eso, me iré para siempre.
No, no sabes que lo que derrames en nuestro valle queda en el valle y puede dañar nuestro medio ambiente. La ciudad de Palmdale nos recuerda que fácilmente se puede reciclar por plástico. Todo lo que tienes que hacer es llamar a 888-CLEAN-LA o 888-253-2652.
888 Clean LA, lo haré, no por ti, por nuestro medio ambiente. Después me iré.
Patrocinado por fondos de Cal Recycle.
Hola, hola. Muy buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Tenemos a personal de Antelope Valley Union High School District y tenemos a la directora Laura Ferguson. Ella es la directora de estos programas alternativos que son RX Paris y las otras dos escuelas, Desert Winds y Phoenix, que les ayudan a los jóvenes que están rezagados. Tenemos también a Michael Dutton en el teléfono. Y Laura Ferguson, I always believe that poverty has a lot to do with this kind of issues, but do you know, tell me please the demographics of the 3 schools or the 4 schools that you have.
Okay, so the majority of our students are Hispanic at all of our sites, with white and African American as our other 2 major groups. And we know from living in the Antelope Valley, we do have many of our students that come from impoverished families.
Mm-hmm.
I think as we, especially from working with these students, not only as a teacher, back when I first started in the district, I worked as a teacher at Arts Paris High School. We have to understand that, yeah, many of our students are dealing with parents that what do we say up here, are go down the hill to work, that may be home, especially now during distance learning with siblings trying to help them. And so when we are working with our students and our families, education may not be the top priority because they need to worry about making rent or making the bills for the month. So how do we show our families and our students that education is a wonderful way to break that cycle of poverty? And so again, we really take the time to work with our students, work with our families. Recently, because of distance learning, we were driving through the community delivering our awards, because we found that many of them would have to take the bus or didn't have a way to the school to pick up the award for their credits earned. So we went to the homes and delivered the awards to the families and the students. And it was a wonderful experience, not just for the families, but for my staff and to get to know the families and the communities and just celebrate the students in that moment. Was a fantastic day.
Ok. Bueno, le preguntaba yo, bueno, sin duda alguna, la pobreza tiene mucho que ver que estos jóvenes tengan problemas. Dice, sí, definitivamente. Le preguntaba yo, ¿cuáles son los grupos demográficos que están en esta escuela? Dice, bueno, pues la mayoría de los estudiantes son hispanos. Luego vienen unos pocos de afroamericanos y blancos. Dice, pero lo que estamos haciendo es que podamos entender, dice, entendemos perfectamente la situación porque ahora a través de la pandemia pues hemos tenido la oportunidad de ir a entregar los reconocimientos a los estudiantes porque con la pandemia no pueden venir, dice, y entendemos que hay pobreza, que los padres y los estudiantes no se pueden concentrar en la educación porque están preocupados y se van a trabajar allá al valle o más allá, y cuando regresan lo único que les preocupa es cómo van a poder sobrevivir. Pero es muy importante que entiendan que la educación es la única manera para ellos de romper el ciclo de la pobreza que ha estado por generaciones. Y aunque implica un esfuerzo de muy poquito, un poco de esfuerzo, no son muchos años, es como una inversión, ¿eh? Si le inviertes 4, 5, 6 años, tu vida va a cambiar por siempre. Si no quieres invertir nada, si no quieres hacer esfuerzo, te vas a quedar el resto de tu vida hasta los 80 o 90 años viviendo igual, siempre pobre, quejándote de lo que no tienes. Do you know what is so sad? That many parents came from other countries to try to give them an opportunity for education, for a better quality of life. And many of the students, they don't graduate from high school or they don't go to the university. And like you say, it's so important that you understand, I make 5 years of effort and I'm going to change my life forever. I'm not going to be worried how I'm going to pay the rent or what I'm going to eat the following day. And it's a little bit of effort, and not only for the students, but also for parents. Because if they do an additional effort, they can obtain a GED and change a little bit the salaries, better opportunities. What do you think about?
So that's one of the things that I think, especially in Arts Paris, is predominantly Spanish-speaking students. And I find that with the students' parents, that they like to, they want to trust the school and they don't want to overstep. And so we encourage our students and our parents to be part of the system. We want their voice. One of the reasons we started doing our award ceremonies before COVID at like back to school night is because we found parents would come and we would encourage them to say, what do you think your students need? What do you need in this community? What do you want your students to leave the school with? And to really encourage parents to have a voice and try to break down some of those barriers with our families. And we do that at all of the schools. But I think, it's many of our students and parents, it can be intimidating to walk
Ujú.
into an office and to a school. And one of the things I try to let my staff know is we're used to what I call educational babble. We talk in these big terms, but our parents don't hear that every day. So when we talk to our parents, I try to encourage my staff to talk to the parents like they were the one being talked to. You want, as a parent, to feel comfortable when you come and talk to someone. You want to feel that you are valued. And so to really take a deep breath when our families come in, and what would you want to be treated like when you come into the schools? And so I think that's the first step in encouraging our families to be more active in what is going on in the site.
Nos está platicando cómo muchos de los padres hispanos, dice, tienen tanta confianza en los maestros, en el sistema educativo, que no quieren intervenir, y nosotros necesitamos que ellos nos digan qué es lo que necesitan, cómo está la situación. Dice, normalmente, dice, se sienten intimidados cuando van a una escuela con personas muy bien educadas, y además a veces hablamos el idioma escolar con siglas y no entienden nada, pero nosotros queremos que ustedes como padres vengan a decirnos cuáles son sus necesidades. No queremos que nos digan qué vamos a hacer en la escuela, ¿verdad? Nomás dígame, pues fíjese que yo en mi casa no tengo lugar donde mi hijo estudie porque somos muchos y no hay un lugar donde él se pueda estar tranquilo haciendo su tarea. En mi casa somos muchas personas las que vivimos. En mi casa no tenemos computadoras o es muy difícil que el internet funcione bien. Ese es el tipo de información y la participación que desean de ustedes. No es que le vayan a decir qué es lo que va a hacer en la escuela. I am telling the parents that they have to communicate what are the problems that they confront at home. Because when they ask you to participate in any meeting, they say, I don't know anything. No, you don't have to tell anything about all the school of all the students. Just say what are the problems of your students to be successful. No, we don't have enough food. We don't have transportation. We don't have whatever they need. Don't you think?
No, I totally, and that is, again, we're trying to talk to individuals, especially because of distance learning, talk to individual families, and ask them if there's anything that we can help them with. One of the things that is happening at RX because of the location in Palmdale is that we have food distribution every day for not just our families and our students, but the community. And so really talking with the community to encourage them to come pick up food. And when our families do come, we have staff out there to greet them, ask them how they're doing. Is there anything else we can do for them? And so if there's something that has been positive of COVID and distance learning is that the individual conversations with our families has really increased because we have teams of employees that are calling. If a student has been absent more than 3 days, if they're failing a class, we're calling and asking, what can we do? What supports do you need? Do you want us to help you talk with the teacher? And so if there are other, we're also able to connect them again with our social worker that we have, community groups, our counselor.
Perfecto. Bueno, estamos hablando, amigos, cómo la necesidad de los padres es que se comuniquen con los maestros, con las personal de la escuela. Por ejemplo, no tenemos suficiente comida, no tengo trabajo, no tengo para pagar la renta. Dice, nosotros tratamos de hacer lo mejor posible refiriéndolos a otras agencias para que los apoyen. Dice, por ejemplo, en este tiempo del COVID, pues como fuimos a entregar los reconocimientos a las casas, hemos tenido la oportunidad de mejorar la comunicación con los padres. Y dice, y en la escuela Rex Padres, que está en Palmdale, estamos haciendo también distribución de comida todos los días. Y no solamente para estudiantes o padres, sino para la comunidad. Así es que esta es una excelente oportunidad, dice, y una de las cosas del COVID que nos ha beneficiado es que ahora llamamos constantemente a los padres. Si el estudiante está ausente por más de 3 días, hablamos para ver cuál es el problema, cómo les podemos ayudar, por qué, si está fallando en la clase, por qué no está obteniendo los resultados que queremos. y también tenemos la oportunidad de que una comunicación más directa con los padres y con los maestros. Okay, Michael, it's your turn. We have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've been listening intently, and I wanted to ask for the benefit of the community, what's the difference between RX Paris and all of the wonderful things that you're doing there, and Desert Winds, which serves the North Valley?
So really what we've done at RX Paris is what we've done at Desert Winds. What we have tried for years, they were 2 continuation schools with slight differences. And again, with distance learning and COVID and this world of Google Meets and Zoom, we've really been able to bring both the sites together and really started to refine what we do, because one site may do something well while the other does something else better. So really combined our efforts to rethink what continuation school is, and that's up with our 9-week plan for our classes. We've also, again, really connected our PBIS teams at both schools to see how we can better serve our students. At Desert Winds, we have a auto program that has a race car team that includes students that before COVID were able to go to races with the instructor and work on the car and compete regionally in the western region of the United States. And again, we're also bringing Snap-on certifications to that program. What we found with Snap-on is that many industries in this valley use those tools. For example, BYD, the bus company, Lockheed, Northrop, most of our automotive dealerships. So what we're hoping is that when we revamp that program and bring these certifications in, our students can then go into the community and they can show that they're certified to use such things as precision measurement, torque. There was the other one, multimeter. Those things that students will have a basic knowledge of, but that they can walk in and their resume is going to look fantastic compared to others that may just come in off the street and want that line job or that entry.
I'm sorry, we have to take a break. I will be back with the translation,
Okay.
if I can remember.
Hey, ¿tuviste un accidente? ¿Te lastimaste y no le has llamado al abogado Antelope? Llámale ahora mismo al 661-945-5300. Él ha sido elegido por 2 años consecutivos como el mejor abogado del Valle del Antílope. Su número 661-945-5300, 661-945-5300. Ángelo Campano, el abogado en quien la comunidad confía.
Las vemos todos los días, pero la mayoría solo caminamos al lado de ellas, tiradas como basura, mereciendo ser guardadas, pues todas valen algo.
Sí, como a 5 a 10 centavos por envase de bebidas CRB.
Al recogernos, las calles estarán más limpias e incluso seremos dinero para ti.
Pero necesitamos tu ayuda. Mira adentro de tu corazón.
Oye, no se trata de corazón, sino de razón.
Llama al 1-800 Recycle o visita la página web para obtener información sobre cómo, al reciclar botellas y latas, las cosas mejoran para ti, para nosotros y para Tampa.
Hola, hola, amigos, buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Les recordamos que hemos estado Café con Leche por más de 10 años aquí en la radio para traerles la información para que puedan mejorar su calidad de vida. Estamos hablando con Michael Dutton, que es mi co-host, y con Laura Ferguson, es la directora de los programas de las escuelas RX Paris y Desert Winds y Phoenix. Y Michael le estaba preguntando, bueno, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre todas las cosas que estás haciendo en RX Paris? ¿Qué pasa con Desert Winds? Dice, bueno, gracias bueno, dentro de lo malo, a COVID, hemos tenido la oportunidad de combinar los programas y dar clases a través del internet de tal manera que todos se puedan beneficiar. Sin embargo, en Desert Winds tenemos este programa de autos, el programa para encaminarnos al área de reparación de autos. Y también dice, tenemos un equipo que participaba en carreras antes de que viniera la pandemia. Así es, dice, de todos modos continuamos trabajando juntos y dice, incluso hemos trabajado en compañías para que se les dé una certificación cuando ellos terminan su escuela como asistentes para trabajar en los vehículos. Dice, hemos tenido el apoyo de BYD, que es una compañía, la compañía de autobuses, las compañías aeroespaciales Lockheed y Northrop. Y dice, y bueno, porque estamos colaborando con todos los que venden vehículos para que ellos puedan al final tener una certificación y poder incorporarse rápidamente a la escuela. Now with the COVID, did you already receive your vaccine? Jose, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I have not yet because I was told that it may interfere with a procedure. So I am waiting till the end of to get mine.
Okay, Michael, you already have your vaccines?
Yeah, I finished my first shot. I'm still waiting for my second, but I'm there. I'm getting there. Laura, I had something I wanted to do, and that's to send a shout out to my young friends at Desert Pathways. Not all students are functioning on the same level, and some are charged with some very emotional things. And I know that program is entirely different in support of students who may have some need for some strong emotional support.
Correct. Yeah. So Pathways is a small program. We usually are between 30 and 50 students. These students come to us, and we really focus in on the social emotional learning using the Boys Town training, where throughout all lessons, students are reminded, modeling is happening of appropriate behaviors, ways to conduct themselves, not only in the classroom, but in public. There are multiple support providers on campus, from therapists to psychologists. We have multiple adults in the classroom. So again, it's a very individualized program to meet the needs of each student. And as students go through the Boys Town curriculum, what's nice is they can go from a small site to where we have them start to transition back onto a larger campus, because Court Hill is right next door. And so some of our students begin to transition back into 1 or 2 classes. And the plan is that they're able to transition back onto a high school campus, a large high school campus, before they graduate. And it's really amazing to watch these students grow in their social emotional toolbox, I guess you can say.
Uh-huh.
No, Michael estaba preguntando acerca de otra de las escuelas que se llama Pathways. Y dice que en esta escuela se atienden estudiantes que tienen algunos problemas de tipo social y también emocional, que son un poco más difíciles de manejar. En esta escuela hay aproximadamente de 30 a 50 estudiantes y se les enseña cómo se deben de comportar apropiadamente dentro del salón de clases, en la casa y fuera, para que vayan aprendiendo. Se cuenta con el apoyo de psicólogos y trabajadores sociales para satisfacer las necesidades de todos los estudiantes, y se les ayuda a que dentro de este proceso de estar en esta escuela, se les ayude a que puedan hacer la transición a un programa regular. Dice, por ejemplo, esta escuela está muy cerca del Palmdale High School, entonces les prepara para que se vayan incorporando alguna de las clases, aunque sea 1 o 2, para que al final, cuando se gradúan, ya están totalmente listos para salir adelante. I think that you should put in these classes outside, sí se puede, or yes, or like sí se puede, like Cesar Chavez used to say, or like President Obama, yes, we can. And in some way that you go there and you know that you can do it if you really want it, no? Que no?
No, I
Yes.
totally. Totally agree with you. And that's where we, I think we are doing a great job in this district of really teaching all of our students that grit and hard work is what pays off in the end. And that's what I hope to continue over the next several years in the alternative programs is that if you want it and you want to work for it, you can reach whatever height that you want.
Laura, and even sometimes it's not even hard work. If you start to learn wherever you like it, that you enjoy it so much that you don't feel like it's an effort, it's something that you really want to do, no?
No, I totally agree. And that's what I always tell students. I'm like, we all are going to have to work for the rest of our life. So find something you love to do that when you wake up in the morning, you're happy to go and get to work. And in the continuation sites, I think we have a great opportunity to really highlight all of the opportunities we have in the Antelope Valley for our students. And that I really would like my sites to partner with the community more and more each year so that our students have those opportunities. Too often our students don't know what they don't know. They don't know about the careers and jobs that are available in this valley and feel they have to leave when they don't. There's great opportunity in the Antelope Valley. Sorry, stumbled there a little. We just need to work with our parents and our community to bring the community together.
And do you know, sometimes it's important to motivate the students, telling them, if you go to school, you can buy the car that you want. You don't have to be jealous about anybody else. The house that you want. Do dress like you want. You can do it if you really want to do that. Because sometimes we just hear, oh, you are going to learn so much, and you say, I don't want to learn so much. I just want. Sometimes some people, should be really good to make equivalent. Okay, put a little bit of effort. Your house is going to be a lot better. Your car is going to be a lot better. Your clothes. You don't need to ask anything or be jealous of anybody because you can do it by yourself. Así es que amigos, hagan el esfuerzo porque para que no se sientan celosos, si les gusta un carro, se los pueden comprar ustedes mismos, que si les gusta una casa, en lugar de estar celosos de su vecino, pues yo me voy a comprar mi propia casa, me voy a vestir como yo quiero, y eso es a través de la educación, la única manera. O te sacas la lotería, que es muy difícil, o vas y te educas. To win lottery is very difficult, then the only option is education, don't you think?
Yes, and when we talk about education, too often everyone thinks they have to take the traditional route, but I think the alternative sites show that we are able to take many different roads to get to the same place. And our students, when they leave us, they have a lot of life experience to go along with their education. And so often I've been in our community and I've seen past graduates and they're doing well. They have families, they're working, they have their own homes. So just because our students come to us, it doesn't mean that they are not getting a quality education. They are getting a quality education where we're really thinking about how we can reinvent some of our classes and possibly teach them differently, especially our math classes. And what we were talking about is those life lessons, like how am I going to afford a nice car? We are doing our math classes, our algebra, geometry classes, algebra 2 classes at the alternative sites through projects. And so students need to rethink what they think about math, that it's not valid. We show our students that every day and probably every moment of their life, they're doing math. So
yeah. Laura, do you know the time is gone, but I just want to suggest that you make a video in which you show all the companies that we have around, how many careers that they have, what are the salaries, and then you say that, everything is ready for you. You can get it, or somebody else will do it. No?
Yes, that's a great idea.
Bueno, Michael, thank you so much for being with us. I'm so glad that everything worked so well today I hope that the video is going to be here really well. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon here in the studio now that we almost have our vaccine, okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. It was a pleasure to talk to you both. Bye bye.
Good
Nos
night.
vamos, amigos. Gracias. Chao.